21 days, just 3 weeks. That's how long it can take for your brain to begin transforming in ways that science can actually measure. Not a little less tired, not slightly fewer cravings, but dramatic changes that can be picked up by brain scans and blood tests. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that after only 21 days without added sugar, participants increased blood flow to the brain by 22%. That's not just a number, it's nearly 1/4 more oxygen and nutrients bathing your neurons. Think about it. Imagine you're an Olympic sprinter, and halfway through the race, someone gives you 22% more oxygen. That could mean the gold medal. Now imagine the opposite. Someone restricts your oxygen by 22% while you sleep. That's essentially sleep apnea, and people wake up feeling like they've been hit by a truck. Sugar removal flips the script. Instead of your brain suffocating, it's suddenly being supercharged. And that's not all. In the same study, levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, jumped by 47%. BDNF is like Miracle-Gro for the brain. It repairs cells, stimulates new connections, and helps neurons grow. Scientists even call it the antidepressant molecule, because higher levels are linked to better mood and resilience against stress. A nearly 50% increase in 3 weeks isn't a tweak. It's like your brain has been handed a brand new operating system. But here's the problem. The average American consumes around 150 pounds of sugar per year. By age 40, over 1/3 of adults show signs of insulin resistance or pre-diabetes. Harvard researchers estimate that by 2030, nearly half of U.S. adults will have some form of metabolic dysfunction. And doctors at the Mayo Clinic now call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes because insulin resistance in the brain is one of its triggers. That's why symptoms like brain fog, memory slips, restless sleep, or sudden irritability aren't just normal aging. They're warning lights. They're the brain saying, this system is overloaded. Here's what makes this experiment so exciting. For most of human history, our brains thrived on a very different fuel. Hunters and gatherers didn't have snacks, sodas, or pantries. They went hours, sometimes days, without refined carbs. Their brains ran beautifully on ketones made from stored fat, a clean, efficient energy source. Evolution wired us to thrive this way. Modern sugar culture rewired us for crashes, cravings, and decline. So here's my challenge to you. Give your brain 21 days without sugar. Not forever, not a prison sentence, just an experiment. See what happens when you swap chaos for clarity. In the next few minutes, I'll show you what sugar really does to your brain, what happens week by week when you stop, and exactly how to do it in real life. On a scale from 1 to 10, how sharp does your mind feel this week? Drop your number in the comments. Let's compare day 1 to day 21. Most people think sugar is just about weight gain. Maybe it adds fat around the belly, maybe it spikes your blood sugar. But here's the truth very few people hear. Sugar doesn't just expand your waistline, it rewires your brain. Every spoonful trains your neurons to crave more, weakens the systems that should protect you, and slowly chips away at memory, focus, and mood. Here's the biochemical story. You eat something sweet, maybe a muffin, maybe just a glass of orange juice. Within minutes, glucose rushes into your bloodstream. Your pancreas panics, releases a surge of insulin, and blood sugar falls again just as fast. At first, it feels like energy. But an hour later, you're foggy, irritable, and craving more food. It's not lack of discipline, it's a roller coaster engineered by your chemistry. Now picture repeating that cycle 3 times a day, 7 days a week, for decades. Eventually, your brain cells get tired of being flooded. They start resisting insulin.
Like locking the door to protect themselves. But that protection creates a paradox. Fuel is outside, but it can't get in. Imagine a car with a full tank, but a blocked ignition. Plenty of fuel, but the engine sputters. That's the sugar-dependent brain. And then comes a hidden complication, vitamin B1, or thiamine. Every carb you eat increases your demand for B1 because it's the spark that lets cells convert glucose into usable energy, or ATP. Without enough B1, the autonomic nervous system, the wiring that keeps your heartbeat steady, your blood pressure balanced, your digestion smooth, and your sleep restorative, begins to falter. That's why sugar overload can show up in bizarre ways: restless legs, blurry vision, constipation, heart palpitations, dizziness when standing, shallow sleep, or even anxiety that feels like part of your personality. People chase 10 different treatments, one for each symptom, but often the true culprit is the same: too much sugar, too little thiamine, and neurons left starving in a sea of fuel. And here's the scary part: you don't need to be diabetic for this to happen. Research shows that even moderate daily sugar creates measurable insulin resistance in the brain. Harvard studies suggest that people with chronic insulin resistance are far more likely to develop dementia. Mayo Clinic researchers go further. They estimate the risk of Alzheimer's rises by 60% when insulin signaling in the brain breaks down. The trap isn't just desserts. Sugar hides in places you'd never suspect: ketchup, bread, low-fat yogurts, salad dressings, sauces. Even healthy snack bars are often just candy with better marketing. And then there are industrial starches like cornstarch, maltodextrin, and modified wheat starch. Your body breaks them down into glucose almost as fast as table sugar. You may not eat cake every day, but if you live on sandwiches, crackers, or flavored drinks, your brain is still drowning in sugar. So the question is this: how many of your daily struggles, the afternoon crash, the brain fog, the restless nights, are really just sugar wearing a disguise? Have you ever noticed blurred vision, irritability, or a sudden wave of hunger less than 2 hours after eating? Drop a yes in the comments if this sounds familiar. You're not alone. So, what really happens when you stop feeding your brain sugar every few hours? The changes don't take months. They happen fast, and you can feel them stacking up week by week. Let's walk through the timeline. Week 1, the breakup phase. The first week feels less like a diet and more like breaking an addiction. Your brain, used to dopamine surges from sugar, reacts like a toddler denied candy. Headaches, mood swings, irritability, restless sleep, and cravings hit hard. Some people even describe it as a mild flu. But here's the truth: that discomfort isn't weakness, it's withdrawal. Your neurons are literally recalibrating. The good news? By day 4 or 5, something remarkable happens. It's subtle, like a fogged windshield beginning to clear. A study from the University of California confirmed this. Just 5 days without refined sugar improved mental clarity and attention. That early glimpse of focus is the first sign the reset is working. Week 2, the fuel switch. By the second week, your body begins producing ketones, the clean fuel made from fat. Think of it this way: if glucose is cheap gasoline that burns dirty and leaves residue, ketones are jet fuel, clean, powerful, efficient. Suddenly, the daily crashes vanish. People report working through the afternoon without needing caffeine or snacks. Sleep deepens, irritability fades, digestion calms. Johns Hopkins research shows that people in ketosis spend up to 50% more time in REM sleep, the stage when your brain repairs itself and consolidates memory. Imagine your brain going from quick rinses to a nightly deep clean. Week 3, neuro upgrade mode. By the third week, benefits accelerate.
Remember that 47% jump in BDNF, the brain's growth fertilizer? This is when you start to feel it. Memory sharpens, learning feels smoother, focus stretches longer, anxiety loosens its grip, hunger cues shift dramatically. Instead of feeling panicked 2 hours after eating, you can comfortably go 4, 5, even 6 hours between meals. And cravings? For many people, they simply disappear. One woman described it this way: "I walked past a bakery and felt nothing. It was like looking at wallpaper. For the first time in my adult life, dessert didn't call my name." The brain is not just healing, it's upgrading.
It's like trading in a glitchy, overworked computer for a brand new processor. And once you feel that difference, you realize how much potential sugar was stealing from you all along. Which week do you think would be hardest for you? The withdrawal of week 1, the adjustments of week 2, or the rewiring of week 3? Comment below. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I understand why sugar hurts my brain and what happens when I cut it. But how do I actually survive 3 weeks without giving up halfway? The answer isn't brute force. It's preparation. It's designing your environment and your habits so success becomes easier than failure. Step 1. Eliminate added sugar completely. This means more than avoiding cake and soda. Sugar hides under dozens of names: corn syrup, maltodextrin, rice syrup, dextrose, sucrose, evaporated cane juice. If it ends in "ose" or sounds like syrup, it's sugar. Even so-called healthy foods, granola bars, low-fat yogurts, flavored waters, often pack in spoonfuls of hidden sugar. A simple swap: instead of fruit juice, drink sparkling water with lemon. Instead of flavored yogurt, go for plain Greek yogurt topped with cinnamon and berries. Step 2. Keep carbs under about 50 grams per day. Notice, this isn't zero carbs. It's choosing smart carbs. Leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and small servings of berries give you fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants without spiking glucose. What to avoid? Breads, crackers, cereals, processed snacks. If it comes in a colorful package with a long ingredient list, assume it's working against your reset. Step 3. Fuel your brain properly. Every meal should include quality protein and healthy fats. Eggs with avocado in the morning. A big salad with salmon, olive oil, and nuts for lunch. Chicken with roasted broccoli and olive oil for dinner. These meals don't just fill your stomach, they keep blood sugar steady and feed your brain ketones. Step 4. Replenish electrolytes. Here's the most common mistake in week 1: not balancing minerals. As carbs go down, your body flushes water and sodium. That's why so many people feel dizzy or drained the first few days. Solution? Start the morning with water plus a pinch of mineral-rich sea salt. Add magnesium, around 300 milligrams per day, to relax muscles and stabilize mood. Eat potassium-rich foods like spinach and avocado. This simple step can make the difference between quitting on day 3 and pushing through. Step 6. Support your nervous system with B vitamins. Remember thiamine, B1? Sugar drains it. Replenishing B1 helps your brain transition more smoothly. Nutritional yeast is a natural food source. A B-complex supplement works too. Think of it as giving your nervous system the spark plugs it needs. Step 7. Treat sleep like medicine. Your brain heals while you sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours in a cool, dark room. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Create a routine, maybe herbal tea, stretching, or journaling. Each night is like a maintenance shift where your brain cleans house. Don't shortchange it. Step 8. Use a craving protocol. When cravings hit, don't fight them head on. Follow 3 steps. 1. Drink a big glass of water. 2. Brew cinnamon tea. It naturally stabilizes blood sugar. 3. Move your body for 5 minutes. If you're still hungry, eat a protein and fat snack, like a boiled egg, a handful of nuts, or plain yogurt. This works because most cravings are actually thirst, boredom, or a glucose dip, not true hunger. And step 8, plan ahead. The people who succeed aren't the strongest, they're the most prepared. Boil eggs in batches. Wash and chop vegetables in advance. Keep nuts portioned in small bags. If healthy options are ready and visible, you'll reach for them automatically. Pick a simple default breakfast and default lunch and repeat them daily during the 21 days. This removes decision fatigue and keeps your willpower fresh for bigger challenges. One of the most motivating parts of this 21-day challenge is realizing, often within days, that it's actually working. You don't need a lab test. Your body gives you clear signals. The trick is knowing how to recognize them. 1. Clear mornings instead of foggy ones. Remember waking up groggy, hitting snooze 3 times, and stumbling to the coffee maker half asleep? Without sugar, that changes. Within 2 to 3 weeks, people often describe opening their eyes and feeling awake immediately. No mental cobwebs, no slow boot up. Imagine starting your day as if your brain already had its first espresso, but naturally. 2. Emotional stability. Sugar keeps your mood on a roller coaster. Energy high after the muffin, then crashing an hour later. Without it, mood flattens, in a good way. You don't snap in traffic. You don't feel crushed by a minor email. Small irritations stop dictating your day. Research from the Mayo Clinic links lower sugar intake to higher production of GABA, a calming neurotransmitter that acts like your brain's natural brake pedal. 3. Real hunger, not urgent cravings. On sugar, hunger feels desperate. You need food now or you'll fall apart. After the reset, hunger becomes logical, gentle, predictable. You can go 4, even 6 hours without food and still feel fine. One client described it perfectly. For the first time in years, my hunger felt like a suggestion, not an emergency. 4. Deep, restorative sleep. Sugar disrupts REM sleep, the phase where your brain repairs itself. Without it, you spend longer in this stage. That means fewer 3 a.m. wake-ups, less tossing and turning, and mornings where you rise feeling genuinely rested. Johns Hopkins research confirms this. Low sugar states are tied to 50% more REM sleep. 5. Digestive calm. For many people, the change is almost shocking. Bloating fades, constipation eases, reflux lessens. Meals stop leaving you heavy and sluggish. Your microbiome shifts toward healthier bacteria, making digestion smoother and energy steadier. 6. Fading cravings. One of the clearest signs is when dessert stops whispering your name. You walk past a bakery, and instead of wrestling with temptation, you feel nothing. That's not discipline. It's a recalibrated palate. Fruits taste sweeter, vegetables more flavorful, and processed sugar loses its power. 7. Steady, even energy. That infamous 2 p.m. crash disappears. Instead of peaking and falling all day, your energy becomes a flat line, steady from morning until bedtime. It's not jittery, not hyper, just calm consistency. Imagine training a flickering candle for a steady lamp. How to track it. Keep a simple log. Each morning, rate your clarity from 1 to 10. Note what time you first feel hungry. Write down how many times you woke up at night. By day 21, you'll have your own personal data showing just how much has changed. Which of these signs would change your life the most? Waking clear, staying calm, or ditching cravings? Comment below. Your answer may inspire someone else to start. By now, it should be clear. 21 days without sugar is not a fad. It's a neurological reset. In 3 weeks, your brain gets more oxygen, repairs faster, sleeps deeper, and stabilizes its mood. But here's the real secret. 21 days is just the beginning. I once worked with a man in his 50s who swore he was just getting old. He forgot names, lost his train of thought in meetings, and woke up tired every single day. 3 weeks without sugar changed everything. His exact words were, "I didn't realize my brain had been hijacked until I finally got it back." That's what this reset can do. Show you the version of yourself you forgot existed. And science backs this up. A study from Cambridge University followed participants for 6 months after cutting refined sugar. Instead of plateauing at week 3, their improvements kept building. Memory sharpened month after month. Anxiety fell steadily. Brain scans showed greater neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire and grow new connections. In plain English, the longer you keep sugar low, the sharper, calmer, and more resilient your brain becomes. And here's the liberating part. You don't need perfection. One slice of cake at a birthday party, one holiday indulgence, that doesn't erase your progress. Think of your brain like a savings account. Every day you go without sugar, you're making deposits. An occasional withdrawal won't bankrupt you as long as the overall trend is consistent. Consistency, not perfection, is what rewires your brain. So here's my challenge. Treat these 21 days as an experiment, not a punishment. Pay attention to your signs.
clearer mornings, calmer mood, steadier energy. By day 21, you'll have your own data. You won't need me or a study to convince you. Your brain will prove it to you directly. Now imagine taking this further. At 3 months, you don't just wake up clear, you live clear. At 6 months, focus sharpens, patience deepens, and sleep restores you night after night. At a year, you're not just surviving, you're thriving, with a brain that feels younger, stronger, and truly yours again. If you're ready to test this for yourself, comment "I'm in" below, and let's see how many people start their 21-day brain reset.